The White House has deleted a tweet seemingly giving the Biden administration credit for increases in Social Security payouts. The original tweet read, "Seniors are getting the biggest increase in their Social Security checks in 10 years through President Biden's leadership." Wow, imagine that. Twitter then added a context note to the tweet, which reads, "Seniors will receive a large Social Security benefit increase due to the annual cost of living adjustment, which is based on the high inflation rate. President Nixon in 1972 signed into law automatic benefit adjustments tied to the Consumer Price Index." Now, Twitter has said that context is written by people who use Twitter and appears when other users rate it helpful.
Now, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre had this to say when asked why the White House later deleted the tweet.
The tweet was not complete. Usually when we put out a tweet, we posted with context, and it did not have that context. So in the past, we've pointed out that for the first time in over a decade, seniors' Medicare premiums will decrease even as their Social Security checks increase. That's a little bit of context that was not included. This means that seniors will have a chance to get ahead of inflation due to the rare combination of rising benefits and falling premiums. And let's not forget, as you've been hearing me say for the past few minutes about MAGA Republicans in Congress and their continued threat to threaten Social Security and Medicare, proposing to put them on the chopping blocks every 5 years, threatening benefits and to change eligibility. So those are the types of context that would normally be with a tweet like that. It did not have that context. It was an incomplete tweet, as I just mentioned, and so that's why you saw the digital team take that action.
Okay, a couple of things. Democrats should claim credit for lowering Medicare premiums. Mm-hmm. That is a thing. Mm-hmm. This bragging about the idea of seniors getting more money because inflation has gone up and trying to cover that up saying, oh, it's just an incomplete tweet is obviously ridiculous. But here's the problem. The thing that you could really brag about is the thing that Nixon did back in the 70s, which is to make sure that there is a cost of living update that pegs the cost of living to the CPI. That is what is protecting seniors from what, frankly, the rest of Americans are going through right now. And it's important because they're particularly vulnerable, obviously, because they're not earning incomes anymore. They can't go out and just get another job. Although, regretfully, a lot of seniors do have to do that. What Democrats should be focusing on and arguing for is why isn't it that minimum wage and other kind of benefits aren't similarly linked to CPI? And also they should be foregrounding this argument about Republicans very explicitly saying that they are going to put Social Security and Medicare on the chopping block. Only getting that message out because you had a goof up on Twitter. Meanwhile, Biden is making these speeches about democracy ending and MAGA Republicans, all of this. When you jump all of that crap together,
I saw you cringe when the MAGA Republican line was used.
It's ridiculous. To the extent that there was something real that she said in there about the material interests of struggling Americans, it gets completely disguised in the middle of all of this save democracy, MAGA Republican stuff that's going to cause a lot of people, rightly or wrongly, to tune out.
Right. You know, it's interesting, this kind of, so the note, the way in which context was added to this tweet by Twitter is very interesting, and people are only beginning to understand what's happening here. This is a pilot program. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with Elon Musk takeover. Mm-hmm. This is a pilot program they came up with, I don't know, like a year or 2 years ago. I remember I spoke with people at Twitter about it. They wanted to tell me about it because they knew I had a lot of issues with fact checking going on other social media sites. So they wanted to show me this was their idea for fact checking, and it has recently been rolled out to Twitter at large. So more people are seeing these notes now. They're very interesting, and they are extremely different from what Facebook, for instance, does with fact-checking, which is deputize a handful of ideological extremists to correct your
ideological extremists.
I have repeatedly had articles fact-checked, and then they get blurred and they get deprioritized on Facebook, and I've said no, their claim that my factual argument is wrong is itself false, and I've appealed to Facebook because I know people there, and they said, "Oops, we're sorry," and that's happened a bunch of times.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're not objective. They're no more, yes, we all are ideologically extreme in some ways, but they're in the fray. They're not referees. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Sure. So how does this
Twitter is different with this program. So anyone can do this. Anyone can add a note of context to a tweet. And then someone else could add a note of context to your note. And people vote. And people say, well, I like this note because it's relevant and it includes a high quality link and this is really helping me out. Or you could say, this is terrible, it'll get downvoted, etc. It's more, it's a curated, user-based sort of thing, more like Wikipedia.
Right.
Which is, in fact, I know people have screamed at me in the comments on the show for saying this, but Wikipedia is a more reliable, so there's less misinformation on Wikipedia than any other social media site. But this is good because it's not expert-based. It's not, no expert is saying, this is the truth, you're not allowed to disagree with me. It's democratized, user-based, and it works better. And that is the energy Twitter has tapped into with this program. And you're seeing, and it can be deployed against Democratic talking points as well. And I'm seeing kind of Democrats going, wait, we don't like this feeling. We don't like getting fact checked.
Right. Well, how many users, like what does it take to get a comment like that to stick? What kind of like consensus does that represent?
Totally unclear to me at this point. I mean, again, this is a program that is being rolled out more broadly. I'm not sure everyone can see it. I don't know what phase it's at. I've been able to see these things for a while. I don't know how. I frankly don't know, but it's interesting.
Yeah, look, Twitter is fundamentally democratizing. It has its problems. It has always had its problems. It always will have its problems. But the reason that normal people, non-blue check people love Twitter is because it was always a place where you could come on, scream at your favorite or least favorite newscaster, scream at your favorite or least favorite celebrity, engage directly.
Me?
Look, I'm in the middle of a pile on.
I cannot do the self-martyr. You've been screamed at a lot lately.
It's a good thing that happens because I used to be a 500-person Twitter account that could directly engage with people like, Ta-Nehisi Coates, and they would write back to me, and, it was productive. It felt empowering. And I think that the people who've always not liked Twitter were the gatekeepers. A lot of journalists, frankly, who were irritated that someone could come in and basically push back without needing to be have a byline in the Washington Post or Wall Street Journal, what have you. So I like this, the idea of this, but it's going to make people like the Biden administration, politicians, and journalists.
And mainstream journalists are getting so, you can see them sweating that, oh no, there's going to be some user-based pushback on their content. And there's already so many people say, oh, look what Elon Musk has done. Again, this is not a program that he has anything to do with. I think he said that he likes this. I do too. Yeah. This seems like a much better way to do it than what other social media sites have done. And it's, man, the vibe is shifting on Twitter. And
there is a vibe shift. There's a vibe shift.
It is underway.
And it feels like a positive vibe shift, I gotta say.
It feels good.
All right, we'll have more Rising for you right after this.